Good morning, everyone. It's Coach Gordy here. I hope you're all well and you've had a good start to your day. I just wanted to do a live video for you guys today. Just say hi, just to introduce myself properly, and just have a quick chat about today's topic, the 4 vital behaviors. I actually started my journey in 2011. Now, going back through my history, I have always been an overweight child. I was an obese child up to the age of about 11 or 12. I went on a diet when I was 12, and then I lost loads of weight. And at school, I was bullied for being overweight. And when I lost all the weight, I got bullied even more because I'd lost all the weight. And I've always developed, because of that, a really bad relationship with food. So essentially, I then became a bit of an older teenager and I was overweight again. And then I became old enough to drink and I got even bigger. And yeah, fast forward a few years, when I was, what age now? About 2009, 2010, I went through a really, really bad bout of severe depression, and I couldn't leave the house. I had to stop working for 4 or 5 months. I was afraid to come out. I was afraid to live my life. I was so scared to kind of go out into the world and actually live. And that all came through stress. That all came through anxiety. And I did actually physically stop living, and I couldn't deal with people. I didn't know how to integrate into society, and it became really bad for me. So during that, I was already kind of a big guy then, but because of that, I became even bigger. So I ended up at 15 and a half stone. And when I did kind of get back into work, I was working on a campaign, and somebody in a store that I was working in was obese. And we were walking through the store, and I got a pat on the belly, and this guy said to me, "You'll be as big as me soon." And we both laughed, and it was quite a funny thing to be said. And I looked down, and I saw my belly, and I thought, he's not even lying. That is so true. I have got so big. How did this happen? I couldn't believe that it had actually happened. And it was like a turning point. Like, you hear about these turning points in people's life. I was unemployed for about 7 months, a few years before all that, and I broke both my feet because I jumped in a swimming pool without bending my knees. Both my feet snapped at the same time, so I was out of move. I couldn't move at all. I was kind of sofa bound for about 4 or 5 months, and that prompted me to start working again. It prompted me to kind of move my life forward. Now, all these turning points that we kind of have, that was the one that actually told me, get up, do something, and fix your health. At that time, like I said, I'd suffered bad depression. I developed a really bad relationship with food over the years because, well, it's because of a lot of things, really. It could have been from the bullying from school. I ended up being bulimic when I was 19, 20. So I've always really kind of had this bad relationship with food. And there is still a sense of that now, these days, at the age of like 37 this year. But that's something I've learned to control over the years. And over my journey, I've really learned to control my relationship with food a bit better. Well, a lot better, really. So this manager, back to the story, said, "You'll be as big as me soon." Now, he was obese, and I realised that if I wasn't careful, I would be obese as well, or I'd be back to being obese. And that weekend, I was working with a guy who was a cage fighter, and we were on this campaign for something else, and it was like a character campaign where we're doing some acting, and he had this six-pack, and he had all these muscles, and I said to him, "Oh, I wish I could look like you," bearing in mind that I'd heard this guy from the day before tell me that I was going to be obese at some point. And he said, "Well, you can." And that was his answer. I said, "I wish I could look like you at some point." And he said, "You can." And I thought, why would he say that? Like, I didn't believe in myself that way. I didn't believe that I personally could have that kind of physique and that kind of body. And it wasn't about the body for me. It was about the health. It was about me feeling better about myself. So I kind of came away from that day at work and I thought, right, what do I have to do? And this guy told me about sugar levels and he told me about nutrition. And I thought, I'm going to go home and I'm going to really look into it. And at that point, I found a diet that he'd kind of told me about. And I decided to cut out wheat and gluten and keep my sugar levels low for a certain amount of time. And from the day that the guy had told me I would be obese, another guy I was working with had actually told me about insanity because I told him what had been said. And that's when I started working on insanity. So I'd sorted my nutrition, I'd heard of insanity, and I went out there and I did it. And it was all because of that decision, you know? It was all because someone said to me, in some space of time, you're going to look as big as me. And it wasn't the size that put me off, but the guy that I'm talking about, he was out of breath, and I already had really bad skin. I'd already was waking myself up in the night, 15 and a half stone, one of the biggest sizes I'd ever been, and I realized I did not want that for myself. I did not want to shorten my life. Like, my mother died at the age of 50, 50 odd, sorry, and I've since then I thought, I do not want to die that young. I want a life. I want to live my life, and I want to make it work for me. So that's when I kind of started that journey. And over the years, I've had this whole team of people, Scotty and his team, and the accountability groups, and everyone in those groups have followed me. They've helped me. Any day I've been struggling with food, with this bad relationship with food, I've gone onto those groups and I've said, guys, please, can someone help me? And I've had help. Anytime I've been struggling to get through a program and I've said, right, I'm really struggling to get off my ass today, someone in that group has gone, look what I've just done. And I've gone, oh, right, it's time. And I've got up and I've done it. And it all starts with that decision. And it all starts with you saying, do you know what? I have to fix myself. I have to be a better version of myself. So that's, in a rough nutshell, that's kind of my story of how I ended up getting into Beachbody. And that was in 2011. I kind of kick-started that journey, and I've met so many amazing people, like all you guys in Scotty's team. Froso, I've known you for many years. There's another woman, Jackie, who I've known for many years from our journeys in Beachbody. And Beachbody's played a huge part in me developing, not just about getting fitter and improving my health and increasing my lifespan. It's not just about that. And it is about these 4 vital behaviors. So essentially, the first one I'm going to talk to you about is being a product of the product. Now, for me, we don't have Shakeology over here. But when I started my journey, I was like, in order for this to work, I need to do what works. And I know that sounds self-explanatory, but when it is you and a DVD or a streaming service and you're saying, right, this is all I've got physically in front of me, it has to work for me, how do I become a product of the product? So I went on the market and I looked at different protein shakes, different nutrition shakes, and I looked at the ingredients in it, what would benefit me personally in the best way. And for me, it was the same one that I've been using for the last 5-6 years. I'm about to change that because Shakeology hasn't been available in the country, and I've been really upset about that. I've had some imported over, but from what I can gather, that's kind of stopping until we officially launch. But yeah, I became a product of the product. I put in that hour every single day to work out, up to an hour, depending on the program. And I did it for myself. And I said, at least what I call the success hour, as long as you do something that will move you forward for an hour a day, you will get results. And that was my workout for me. 2.5 years later, the proof was in the pudding. I'd lost 72 pounds. I was much healthier version of myself. I felt so much better. I haven't had depression since then, and it's just been a complete drastic turnaround over like my first couple of years. So that's been a product of the product. The second thing is inviting. Now, I became a coach in 2012. Now, unofficially, I was coaching other people. People were starting to see the results from me. I couldn't be an official coach in the UK, but people were approaching me. I was getting messages from friends that I'd had for years saying, "Oh my God, you're starting to look so amazing. What's working? How are you doing this?" And I was just like, "Oh, well, at the moment I'm doing Santi, but my next one's going to be T25 it was." And I got talking to them about Beachbody, and it was just like this swarm of people coming over to me and saying, "How are you doing it? What are you doing? And how can I be part of this?" They were seeing a real person with real results. And that is what helped me to invite people. I shared my journey with people. People came onto my journey with me, and they started sharing their journey with what I was doing. That is the invite. Okay, that's the invite process. That's expanding your circle of your journey, and your journey becomes much bigger. It becomes less about just you then, and it's about a whole family of people all striving towards individual goals. Everyone's goal is completely different, you know? Everyone's goal will be completely different from when they start to halfway through that goal or that journey that they've got. And the goalposts might change, but the goal itself kind of evolves as well. And everyone's is completely different, but that's the process of the invite. The third stage is the personal development. From Scotty and his team, I started hearing about Jim Rohn, I started hearing about Tony Robbins, and I started looking into all these people who were talking really inspirational, and they helped me get through the really, really hard parts of a physical workout journey, let's say, and a health journey. I started watching motivational videos online. I started reading personal development books. What was the first one that I read? I can't even think. Think and Grow Rich really helped me. And it wasn't, Think and Grow Rich isn't just about finances. This is about being rich in life. It's about being rich with what you're working on. It's about feeling great with your surroundings and all that kind of stuff as well. I had this video online, and it was a motivational video, and it was only 3 or 4 minutes long, but I knew before I left my workplace, if I watched that video 5 minutes before I was due to leave, I knew I would get my workout done 10 minutes later when I arrived home. So that was a daily routine for me. A 3-minute video, watch it maybe once, maybe twice, just to get me in the zone. It had people who I was looking up to in that video. It had physiques. There was a women's fitness video that I used to watch, because these bodybuilding women had the exact physique, apart from the boobs, obviously, had the exact physique that I wanted. They had perfect shoulders, perfect biceps. Their abs were completely perfect, and I was like, I know they're women, and I can't relate to them, but body-wise, that's what I'm working towards. And that really helped me. So whatever you kind of use, it might be unrelatable in some sense, but there might be something in a video, there might be something in a book, even 10 to 30 minutes a day. Just read a few paragraphs, take some time out, and work on something in your life, because over time, guys, it really does compound into the much bigger picture. The fourth thing I'm going to say is recognition, and I'm going to finish the video with recognition, because one of the biggest reasons I achieved all my goals has been because of recognition. It's been because of Scotty and his team saying, well done. The whole support network saying, this is what you're actually capable of. You are doing amazingly. You have done so well. So thank you so much for staying with it. And well done. And it's the recognition side of Beachbody that has got me to where I am, as well as, well, it's the 4 vital behaviors. That's why they're vital, isn't it? Because these are the keys to being successful in your health journey, in your fitness journey, as a coach, how you help other people. All of these things are really going to help you to move forward. So recognition, guys, the people that I'm coaching, I'm consistently showing recognition to the people who are working really hard. Maybe they aren't achieving their goals instantly, or in the space of time they want to, even, is what I meant. They're still doing really well. Any success is success. Any progress is success. And showing recognition for that is exactly what this whole journey is about. I hope that makes sense. I hope I didn't just babble that. Anyway, I just want to make a short video. I think we're on about 15, 16 minutes now. But yeah, that's kind of my story, guys. That's how I got into being a Beachbody coach. That's how I have become the picture of health that I am now. In that journey, guys, we're looking at about 6 years difference. Some things won't happen overnight, but physically and health-wise, I did it in 2 to 2.5 years. And I've got the pictures to prove that. If you go down my timeline, you will see the results pictures that I've posted. We all have a journey, guys, and I know it's really easy sometimes to look at someone and think, oh, you don't know what it's like. I used to think that. I used to look at before and after pictures online with Beachbody, on the Beachbody website. When I first looked at Insanity, I saw these before and after pictures, and I was like, that's not even real. What are you talking about? Do you know what, guys? It works if you work it. And that's why we have 4 vital behaviors. That's why we have specific, it's a strategy for success, you know, like a recipe for cake. As long as you work on the recipe and you put in the right ingredients, you'll get the product that you want. I hope that's been really helpful, guys. And I did just want to check in and say hello and introduce myself. I'm Coach Gordy, and please, if you have anything you'd like to add, drop a comment down below here. Let us know what you are working on, what you would be interested to work on. Okay, try and or even ask any questions about the best form of personal development or how you can move forward in this coaching business, because that's what we're here for. We are here to help with anything that you have a question with. I hope you're well, guys, and I'm going to leave it there because otherwise I do start to babble, and I try to kind of keep that short and sweet. Have a great day, guys. I will speak to you soon. Lots of love. Take care.